Of Bruno Mars. This one's called Locked Above Heaven. You're locked onto the Clean First song with FM 99.9. It's 12:15 here in St. Vincent and Grenadines and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. At this time, we have a Midday News sponsored by Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Deals at Courts. Shop today for up to 50% off on your favorite items like the Sony 50-inch 4K Smart TV. It's now just $3,799. Save $1,800. The Ashley Callion Love Seat is now only $2,299. Save $700. Save $600 off the Whirlpool 9 cubic foot refrigerator. Now $1,999. And get this Technical Pro rechargeable speaker, now only $849. With Ready Finance, shop today with no cash and get 90 days for your first payment. It's the season's best deals, only at Courts. Bringing value home.
Welcome back to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene. Nearly $400,000 has been allocated for medical care under the Office of the Prime Minister. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Rajiv Providence during his appearance on VC3's Roundtable Talk earlier this week. Prime Minister Gonsalves also made mention of contributions that the National Lotteries Authority has made to the area of medical care in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We'll hear more from the Prime Minister.
In the budget, we have monies for medical care under the Office of the Prime Minister, nearly $400,000, plus an additional $700,000 for the forms of social assistance, much of it which is spent on medical assistance overseas. Then, from the lotto, for education and health purposes last year, the lotto spent over $3.5 million.
The Prime Minister's disclosure was in response to public discussion about the illness of 3-year-old Raiden Davis, who has since passed, with many saying that they felt like not enough was being done on the part of the government to assist. However, Prime Minister Gonsalves also disclosed that efforts were made to have the 3-year-old flown out by air ambulance, but due to the lack of a clear diagnosis, this was not possible.
Because a lot of harsh things have been said, which are untrue. The medical services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, including the World Pediatric Project, which is seized of this child, seeking to see if they can find out what is really wrong. They're doing a series of tests, including sending tests overseas. I've been able to find out it's a painful thing. 3 weeks ago, the Cabinet Secretary, Mrs. Barnwell Scott, had made arrangements for the child to be flown out to Trinidad by air ambulance. But they wouldn't be accepted in the hospital over there because they didn't have a clear diagnosis.
That was the Prime Minister, Dr. Rajiv Providence. The Prime Minister, during his address at the launch of the on-site program on Thursday, the morning following the passing of 3-year-old Raiden Davis, extended condolences to his mother, asking the public to keep her in their prayers. Non-resident Ambassador of the Kingdom of Spain to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, His Excellency Fernando Nogales, is currently in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for a 2-day official visit from Thursday, January 19th to today, Friday, January 20th, 2023. According to an official release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, during the visit, Ambassador Nogales will meet with high-level officials, including Prime Minister Dr. Rajiv Gonsalves, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Kiezo Peters, Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Information Technology, Camilo Gonsalves, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labor, Subota Caesar, as well as members of the private sector. The meetings are expected to explore economic development opportunities between the Kingdom of Spain and St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the areas of transportation, tourism, fisheries, and trade. Still on the local scene, there will be zero tolerance for reckless driving on the roads of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Sergeant 444 Kenny Jones, during an appearance on WEFM's Cop Chat program, urged the nation's road users to be cautious and careful while traveling, warning that failure to do so can result in the suspension of their driver's license. We hear more from Sergeant Jones.
We also want to send a strong message when it comes to any acts of dangerous driving on the streets of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The traffic department has a zero tolerance approach when it comes to this. Right? The Commissioner of Police has the authority to suspend one's driver's license pending the determination of that case. So your license can be suspended by the Commissioner of Police, right, pending determination of that matter. So just one person to be mindful of that. Once we have evidence that you drive in any dangerous manner, we could take away your driver's license.
That was Sergeant 444 Kenny Jones speaking on WEFM's Cop Chat program. Earlier in the interview, Sergeant Jones noted that a charge of dangerous driving can result in a maximum fine of $2,500. On to news in the region. The University of the West Indies, the UWI, has welcomed the US $80 million loan agreement between the government of Antigua and Barbuda and the Saudi Development Fund for the expansion of the Five Islands campus. Present at the signing was UWI Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, who said that the agreement is a significant milestone in the development of the campus. Beckles had earlier said he wanted to celebrate Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown for having the vision, courage, and fortitude. UWI Five Islands campus principal Professor Denzel Williams said he was pleased that the UWI has partnered with the Antigua and Barbuda government. He went on to say that this is the largest investment ever made in the university. A Jamaican teenager was shot and killed during a reported confrontation with the police force in Denham Town, West Kingston on Wednesday. The deceased teen has been identified as 18-year-old Elvis Keefe. The Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, the information arm of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, confirmed the shooting. Reports are that Keefe was among a group of men who opened fire at the police. Fire was returned and Keefe was found with gunshot wounds. He later died. Jamaican law enforcement recovered a 9mm Glock pistol containing 9 live rounds of ammunition. On the international scene, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky is continuing to put pressure on Germany to have them supply his country with tanks. The appeal came from the Ukrainian president during a meeting involving dozens of Western allies. The US and European nations have already promised more weapons, but Mr. Zelensky told defense ministers at Ramstein Air Base hundreds of tank queues are not hundreds of tanks. Germany is under growing pressure to send its Leopard 2 tanks and to allow other countries to provide Ukraine with their own Leopards. As the nation of manufacture, it has to give its permission before countries such as Poland or Finland commit to re-exporting them. The BBC reports that defense colleagues from more than 50 countries gathered at the airbase on Friday, a day after several nations pledged more equipment to help Ukraine fend off further Russia campaigns. Finally, in sports, British top male tennis player Cameron Norrie is out of the Australian Open after losing to rising star Jiří Lehečka. Norrie's aim had been to knock off another notable career milestone by reaching the last 16 at Melbourne Park for the first time. Britain's number 1 led by 2-1 before Lehečka fought back to win in the third round. When interviewed by BBC Sport, Norrie said he couldn't quite put his finger on why he was not able to give his best performance. There was speculation that an issue with his knee early in the match was to blame, but Norrie denied this, saying it had nothing to do with the final result, stating Lehečka had just played better than him this time. With this victory, Lehečka will go on to compete in the 4th round of the tournament this Sunday. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 p.m. for WEFM's 3 p.m. News. WEFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Courts St. Vincent Limited.
Find the season's best deals at Quartz. Shop today for up to 50% off on your favorite items like the Sony 50-inch 4K Smart TV. It's now just $3,799. Save $1,800. The Ashley Callion Love Seat is now only $2,299. Save $700. Save $600 off the Whirlpool 9 cubic foot refrigerator. Now $1,999. And get this Technical Pro rechargeable speaker, now only $849. With Ready Finance, shop today with no cash and get 90 days for your first payment. It's the season's best deals.